They're coming here because of the investments we're making, because of the progress we're making with local governments to build the homes, hospitals, schools, roads, highways our growing community needs, to a point of $200 billion a year over the next 10 years. We're investing in infrastructure. They're investing in Ontario because of our province's highly skilled workforce and a world-class colleges and universities that produce over 70,000 STEM graduates each and every year. And friends, our government is going to keep working hard together with the mayor and council to create the conditions for jobs to grow and businesses to prosper here in Port Colborne. Thank you again to the team at JBL for your investment and for your continued confidence in our province and our people. I wish you the best of luck in years ahead. Thank you all, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll hand it over to, as I always say, our #1 salesperson, Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, Minister Vic Fedeli. Thank you.
Great speech. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Premier. And like you, it's also great to be back in beautiful Port Colborne. And it's a pleasure to be here alongside my favorite colleague, Minister Sam Oosterhoff, as well as Mayor Steele, our other provincial and federal colleagues, Bruno, and all of your Jungbunzlauer team here today. And thank you to Jungbunzlauer. It's great to see this whole team assembled here today. It's a great day for the community, for your talented workers, and for our province's manufacturing sector. Today's groundbreaking was, as Bruno said, a long time in the making. And quite frankly, announcements like these are not possible without building relationships. And nothing is more important than meeting face to face. When we met with Jungbunzlauer in their boardroom in Switzerland over a year ago, we offered them what Invest Ontario calls white glove service. And when it came to helping them expand and grow their operations in Ontario, and that's exactly what they received from the province. And Bruno, we thank you and the whole JBL team for being great partners and working together to make today a reality. Now, once complete, Jungbunzlauer's expansion to their existing footprint on this site will create Canada's first ever manufacturing facility for xanthan gum, and will cement Port Colborne's place as a key player in Ontario's manufacturing ecosystem. Last year, Ontario created 94% of all the manufacturing jobs created in Canada. In fact, we are now North America's third largest manufacturer, behind only Texas and California. Premier, this is your favorite one, I know. Last year, 137 companies from around the world invested $11 billion here in Ontario and hired 12,200 employees. And today, Jungbunzlauer joins that fraternity. We're leading the nation in jobs created by global direct investment and in job creation, with over 800,000 new jobs created since we took office in 2018, all thanks to companies like Jungbunzlauer. So to Bruno and the whole Jungbunzlauer team, thank you for your hard work, your partnership, and for your commitment to the workers here in Port Colborne. Together, we're making sure that Ontario's manufacturing sector continues to grow as the economic powerhouse of our nation. We cannot wait to be back here with you to celebrate the new plant's opening. Thank you, and now we'll hear from a real champion for the region, Minister Sam Oosterhoff.
Well, thank you very much, Minister Fedeli. It is a great day to host some of the leading champions for economic development back here in Port Colborne. I want to acknowledge and thank JBL for their incredible investment here. $200 million here in the Port Colborne facility, and that's just phase one. I'm really excited to hear the little teaser that you gave about the next phases and more investments. coming into the Niagara region. You know, we had the Premier down here a couple of weeks ago with Minister Fedeli to chat about what the investments that are happening in our OPP helicopters means for jobs in Fort Erie. Just a couple of months ago, we had the Premier and Minister Fedeli again back in Port Colborne to celebrate the Asahi Kasei plant, a $1.6 billion build for manufacturing here in the province of Ontario. These are substantial investments in an area that for many years was abandoned by the provincial government. We didn't see the former Liberals support industry here in Ontario. We didn't see growth. We saw jobs leaving this area. And whether it's the Linamar site, the new supports for so many of these investments in manufacturing, we are seeing true growth here in the Niagara region in a way that we haven't seen for many, many years. And it's exciting. When I speak to the workers who are behind us, and I speak with many in our community, they say that they are seeing good jobs come back to this region and they're excited about what the future brings. But that can't happen without a lot of leadership, and that's why I'm so grateful that Premier Ford and Minister Fedeli are here today. They have led the charge on working with local municipal partners like Mayor Steele, someone who has been a real champion for the Southern Niagara region and especially for Port Colborne. They've led the charge on working with the region and so many others to say whatever it is that's a barrier to growth here in Niagara or the rest of the province, we want to take that off the table. We want to make sure that we're removing those barriers. As the Premier spoke about, you know, cutting $8 billion a year in costs means that businesses know we are coming here with a plan to ensure that they're able to invest. So I want to thank JBL for their investment. I want to thank all of you for coming, and most of all, for the workers who are going to build a remarkable factory that's going to be world leading when it comes to producing amazing products that are produced right here in Ontario. So thank you all. I'm excited about what the future brings, and now I'll pass it over to the wonderful Mayor of Port Colborne, Mayor Steele.
Oh, maybe that won't fit there. How do I get me one of these things so I can read straight ahead as opposed to having my papers blow all over? So, good morning, everyone, and I'm thrilled to be here today at this groundbreaking for Jungbunzlauer, JBL. Bruno, Premier Ford, Minister Fedeli, MPP Oosterhoff, members of our council, as well as our senior staff and local partners. To our Swiss friends, let me say danke, merci, and grazie to express just how thankful we are to have Jungbunzlauer here in Port Colborne. The city of Port Colborne has had more than 2-decade relationship with Jungbunzlauer that started when the company built its 4th plant worldwide as a response to increased global need for citric acid. It was an honor to welcome them to our city all those years ago. MP Badaway was mayor when I served with him on council back then. Former Prime Minister John Turner was on the board of directors of JBL in the day, so it was, it's been quite an adventure. And somebody said earlier that that, you know, this was kind of a small thing, the way I took his comments, but this is a great thing. This is a huge expansion of this plant. And as you can see here to my left, this just isn't happening now. This has happened from the day they finished the original plant, and they've been expanding ever since. New warehousing, and now the xanthan gum plant. As if these developments weren't enough, Jungbunzlauer continues to expand its footprint in Port Colborne with expansions at its citric acid plant. This brings us to today's groundbreaking for the newest plant and product of Jungbunzlauer, xanthan gum, which I'm told is in numerous food products and is shipped to more than 130 companies around the world. And it's amazing to know that something produced in Port Colborne is making its way around the world in products people use every day. And it's phenomenal that this will continue to contribute to our strategic goal of enhancing economic prosperity while bringing more jobs to our city. To Bruno, Mike, the JBL Board of Directors, and all your staff and team, on behalf of City Council, City staff, and the citizens of Port Colborne, we thank you for your confidence and continued investment in this community, and we look forward to many more years of working together. Now, everybody watches TV. Every time you see Red Bull on TV, it always says Red Bull gives you wings. That's not true. Port Colborne gives you wings. That citric acid that's in Red Bull comes from this plant. They've tested things from all around the world, and they've picked Port Colborne JBL citric acid, so Port Colborne gives you wings.
That's very good.
So at this time, Bruno, Premier, if you guys could come forward. So Bruno, presented to Jungbunzlauer to mark today's groundbreaking for your product expansion. On behalf of members of City Council and the citizens of the City of Port Colborne, I extend congratulations to the Jungbunzlauer team for this major new development, 25 years since you broke ground for the local citric acid plant. Your continuous investment in your community, your people, and in our city is a testament to our industry, leadership, and your vision of environmental sustainability. Thank you, Bill.
Very nice. There you go. Thank you.
Where's my staff?
That's all right. We'll share the camera.
Right here. Where is he?
We'll take that.
We got a picture
Got
here?
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. There you go. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now this is going to be exciting. This is called question and answer.
All right.
They'll try to grill me on everything but why we're
it's
here.
your-
Watch. Okay,
your
just stay tuned. This is going to be exciting. But anyways, JBL, I got to mention to Bruno, you know, we do $57 billion of food and beverage in this province, $57 billion. And I'm sure your products are going into the vast majority of those. So thank you for your investment. Okay, let's rock and roll here.
We will now go to reporters' questions. Reporters, please line up at the mic behind me. Please identify yourselves by name and outlet. This is just a reminder that the format today will be one question, one follow-up. First, reporter.
Hi, Premier. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Hi, Siobhan.
I am going to ask you about something I know you love to talk about, which is congestion.
Yep.
The office of your transportation minister said the government's not considering using automated traffic enforcement. Why is it that your government won't support the City of Toronto's request to expand the use of traffic cameras to crack down on drivers who are contributing to congestion?
Well, I'm sure we're always open, and my minister and myself will sit down with the mayor and let's hear her out. And it's not in the plans, but let's sit down and at least listen to her.
So you're leaving the door open because they had...
Well, I always follow the lead of my ministers, and he's doing an incredible job, Minister Sarkaria. But I'm also in the belief, let's sit down and listen to what they have in mind.
When it comes to the TDSB and the protest that you spoke about yesterday, you did speak about the need for accountability and investigation. Is that something your government's going to get involved in, and do you think people need to be losing their jobs here?
Well, you know, I had a conversation with the Minister of Education, Minister Dunlop, yesterday, and I've asked her to investigate the situation. Folks, we can't have our kids going to any protest. It doesn't matter what type of protest it is. They should be in school learning math and arithmetic, spelling and geography, history. That's what we need to do. We can't be dragging them out of school and going to protests. It just doesn't cut it. And I think every parent believes in that. They should be in school learning. So we'll find out. We'll get down to the bottom of it.
Hi, Premier. Al Sweeney from CHCH Hamilton.
Hi, Al.
A couple questions for you. Here's a surprise for you for the first one.
Yep.
This event today, you had the battery plant, you've got this event today. What does this mean for this area around Port Colborne? What do you make of that?
Well, it means jobs and opportunities and giving people a leg up, knowing that they'll be able to maybe put a deposit down on a home, or maybe make sure they meet their mortgage payments and pay rent. It's certainty. We're giving people certainty here as the investments are coming through. We're going to be turning sod over at Sai Kase. That's going to be a massive opportunity as well with JBL. There's a lot of action happening in Port Colborne right now, and we're just very grateful for the cooperation of the mayor and the region and the city council. They play an absolute critical role in opportunities like that, and we're very grateful for the relationship. And the federal government as well, too. When all three levels of government work together, we're unstoppable.
Another question for you, Premier. Following your comments yesterday about homeless people, some of them should get off their butts and go to work, get a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow in Hamilton, the City Council is going to be considering a plan to set aside part of the city, build tiny homes in this area for homeless people. and they would provide them with food, medicine, security, and other things, costing millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. What do you think of that plan? Is that a good idea?
Sure, if we can give them shelter, give them an opportunity, get them back on their feet, have an address, they can go out and apply for new opportunities. Like I said yesterday, you know, if there's anyone out there, maybe have mental health issues, addictions, have a disability, I'm always going to take care of those people for the rest of their lives. You're young, you're healthy, and you can work. You have to find gainful employment. That's what you need to do. You can't, you know, we spend over $1 billion. We have 1 million people that are on Ontario Works or ODSP. We need to get these folks back working. ODSP, I have no problem taking care of people. But I got to give a shout out to people on ODSP that are out there and they're working even part-time. I love those folks.
Sorry, Premier, can I ask Minister Fedeli a question?
Yeah, sure.
And maybe Mr. Tremblay may want to answer this. What's the biggest impact of this going to be, do you think, here in Port Colborne, this area?
Oh, it's the lives of people who are going to have meaningful employment. We've been working so well with companies around the world. You know, that statistic that I talked about, 137 companies from around the world coming to Ontario. They are providing jobs. You know, in Ontario, we have created, last year, we created more manufacturing jobs in the province of Ontario than all 50 U.S. states combined. That's what's happening in Ontario. That's what's happening here in Port Colborne. We're working so well with the Mayor, Mayor Steele and Council. We continue to see companies expanding, companies like JBL who are adding people, the construction that's going on. We toured the Asahi Kasei plant just a couple of weeks ago, sent the drone up to show us some video. The thousands of men and women who are going to be working on that site for a couple of years, and then the employees that will be in that almost $2 billion plant, this has changed their lives right across Ontario and right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I was just saying about the metrics that you're telling me about. We're knocking out of the park on every metrics.
Yeah.
Just maybe few words on to answer your question on what does that mean. I think for us it's very simple. It's about upgrading people capabilities to make high quality and sophisticated fermented ingredients, right? So what we have been doing over the last 20 years is to train our employees. So the 200 current employees are highly skilled, right? We are not talking about just regular job. We are talking about specialists in fermentation, right? And the 50 new employees who will join us, we are going to train them for 2 years in order to get them at the right level of capabilities and qualifications in order to deliver on what we are expecting for the North America customers, right? So I think it's a significant investment into the people, right? In making sure that those people are well qualified for the job, and I'm sure it will help them, you know, wherever they do in the future, right? Having these competencies.
Why Port Colborne?
Why Port Colborne? Well, I need to ask, you know, some of my colleagues who are joining me here, who were part of the journey at the beginning. I think when you look at a good fermentation site, and you think about what it takes to ferment ingredients, you need to be close to raw materials, right? And one of our key raw material is corn. So we are very happy that Ontario has become one of the highest province in terms of corn production, one of the biggest one in Canada. So we don't need to get corn across the border. We get all our corn from Ontario. So that's one of the first elements, because we need glucose to ferment our ingredients, and we produce glucose out of corn, right? Fermentation. And then you need water. We need access to water, and we need access to power, and hydropower is even better for us because this is green power. As I said, we are committed to have decarbonized ingredients, and I think this is just a perfect location for us. And then the last element will be about logistics. right? We can serve a large part of our customers either in Canada or the US out of Port Colborne directly through the different logistic hubs. And this is a key asset for us to be here, definitely as well, to be close to our customers. Thank you.
That's great. Well done, Bruno. There you go, Bruno. Plus all the spin-off jobs too. It's 7 to 1. So companies like JBL or Saki Kasei, they come here, create thousands of jobs. That's people going out for dinner, people opening up other small restaurants, going into the local retail store, going into the car dealership, maybe buying a car. It's just reciprocal. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. So, including, well, hopefully we'll have more healthcare workers at the $3.6 billion new hospital that we're building in Niagara with 150 additional beds. They're going to need more people over there as well. So there's quite a few opportunities here for the people in this region, and they keep coming.
This concludes the media conference.
I was just getting warmed up. Any other? Oh, no. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.